A group of random ordinary men was divided into guards and prisoners and locked in jail. Find out what came out of this in our recap of the movie The Experiment. This guy's name is Travis, and he just got fired. He participates in a rally to make at least some money. In the crowd, our hero spots an attractive girl. Suddenly, she gets knocked down and the protesters start fighting. Travis stands up for the beauty, but he can't hit his rival. It seems like he not only looks like a hippie, but also thinks like one. Do no harm. Travis gets acquainted with that cute girl. Her name is Bay, and here we see them having drinks together in a bar. Everything would be perfect, if not for the girl's plan to leave for India. The thing is, Travis can't afford such a trip. At home, Travis looks through the newspaper and sees a strange advertisement. Subjects wanted for some kind of a behavioral experiment. They are paying a lot of money. He should definitely try it. At an interview, our hero sees a huge crowd of applicants. Among them is a friendly man wearing a business suit named Barris. We learn that this is a psychological experiment in which 26 volunteers are divided into guards and prisoners. They will spend 2 weeks in an isolated prison-like building. In the end, each of them gets $14,000. It's as simple as that. All the men are tested and asked to watch short videos. Both kind and very violent. After the interview, Travis goes back to see his new girlfriend. Bay says that he could never hit a man because his knuckles are so tender. Travis is upset. Bay thinks he's weak. Well, she's not wrong. Travis gets to be among the lucky ones who will participate in the experiment. They all arrive in an abandoned building somewhere in the middle of a field and get locked inside. A man in a white coat calls several names. These men will be the guards, and the rest will be the prisoners, including our hero Travis. Volunteers are given printouts of the rules. The inmates must all eat food offered to them, sit in their cells, and not touch the guards. Breaking the rules will require inventing penalties. If this is not done, a red light will go on and no one gets paid. At first, everything looks harmless. The guards water the inmates with a jet from the shower. Then, ask everyone to line up and go back to their cells. Between Travis's roommates, there is a good-natured, overweight guy named Benji. Instead of walking, the inmates play basketball. One of the men throws a ball at a guard named Bosch, making him fall to the floor. According to the rules, the culprit must be punished. He is required to do 10 push-ups, but the prisoner refuses, and the guard orders all of them to do 10 push-ups. The men obey. The guard is very delighted. Finally, they feel their power. It's day 2. The prisoners are given food, and it does not look very appetizing, to say the least. The men are displeased, but the rules say that they must eat all of it. Travis refuses to do that. The other inmate throws a food at the guard too, and the real madness begins. Plates go flying in all directions. The guards gather for a meeting. They have to come up with a new punishment for the bullies. Barry suggests humiliating the prisoners because it is much worse than the usual violence. At night, the guards break into the cells of their prisoners and spray them with a jet of a fire extinguisher. After which, they pull Travis out and handcuff him to the bars. Barris goes to the bathroom and realizes that in his joy, he even felt horny. Gee, looks like there's a real sadist living inside this loser. Travis spends the whole night chained to the bars. At that time, Benji starts feeling bad, and we learn that this guy has diabetes. Day 3 comes. The prisoners behave in a low-key manner. Barris notices that Benji is still lying in the cell. The guy feels too bad. He asks for insulin or at least a candy bar. But the guards refuse to help the poor guy and drag him out of his cell. Travis stands up for his new friend, and the guards get really irritated by this. Barris pulls out his truncheon. But he can't act like that. It's forbidden by the rules. The prisoners are driven back to their cells. The guards are enjoying life, drinking, eating well, and plotting revenge on the relentless Travis. They want to scare him. Barris orders his assistants to tie Travis up and shave his head. Then they mock him along with the other guards. What's more, they all relieve themselves on the man. Back in his cell, Travis, in disgust, tries to wash himself in the wash basin. Surprisingly, the experiment doesn't stop. Are they really allowed to do that? The guards conclude that they are now allowed to do everything to the prisoners. However, one of the guards, Bosch, is convinced that this was way too cruel and threatens to quit the experiment. He seems to be the kindest one of them all. It's the beginning of day 4. Travis secretly brings Benji a piece of bread, but the good-natured guy is still getting worse. He needs insulin. At night, Bosch approaches Travis's cell. Our hero begs him for help. He promises to give the guard $2,000 to bring Benji insulin. He refuses the money and sneaks into the warehouse with the prisoner's belongings. Bosch finds Benji's bag and rummages through it, looking for the right medicine. At this time, another guard comes up to the prisoner's cell. He leads the prisoners down a deserted corridor with no cells and takes off his pants. Uh-oh. The guard demands that the prisoner kneels down. Luckily, at that moment, they get seen by Barris. The guards are watching the surveillance videos and see someone snooping through the prisoner's belongings. It's Bosch. They stop the man and ask him to empty his pockets. That's where he put the insulin. Next, something very strange happens. Barris brings the insulin to Benji's cell. What? Did he regain conscience? No, he just decided to take his anger out on our hero. Barris shaves his head, after which he argues with Travis and demands to clean the toilet. The inmate tells the guard to go fuck himself. For which he gets his head put in the toilet, and they do it all over again. Travis is so sick and disgusted that he doesn't even go to lunch. Grabbing his head, he cries in the cell. But that's not all. You remember Bosch, don't you? Barris decides to take revenge on him. The guards put a bag over his head and throw themselves at him with their fists. The head guard then adds Bosch to the number of prisoners. It's the 5th day. Barris gives a speech about how he's supposedly doing justice. At this time, Travis takes off his shirt. The other prisoners repeat the action. The guards demand that the prisoners get dressed up and not break the rules. Instead, Travis climbs up to one of the surveillance cameras and requires stopping this monstrous experiment. The guards throw him to the floor and tell him to shut his mouth. Benji rushes to his friend's aid and swings his fist against Barris. In rage, the latter uses his truncheon and poor Benji falls to the floor. Travis is locked in a small mine and the other prisoners are isolated, so they can't communicate with each other. Everything is in total chaos. The guards have gone completely insane, but not all of them. One of them demands that the guards stop, but they say the red light hasn't turned on, which means they are doing everything right. The 6th day arrives. Barris watches the surveillance video and smiles contentedly. Travis finds a surveillance camera in the mine and threatens to take revenge on the guards for all the abuse. One of the guards comes to a prisoner chained to a drain pipe. The last time the scoundrel was stopped by Barris, but who will help the poor man now? The guard threatens to do it with him and pins the guy against the wall. At the same time, Travis still manages to get out. He opens the mine door using a bracelet he got from Bay. The man hears the wild scream of a prisoner being mocked by a guard and rushes to his aid. Together, they deal with the guard and run to free the other prisoners. Travis notices that Benji shows no signs of life. He is seething with rage and a strong desire to take revenge on his assailants. The guards see that the prisoners have been released and they go deal with them. They are far outnumbered, which means the forces are not equal. The prisoners give Travis a truncheon, and the guards begin to panic. Barris grabs a sharp object in his hand, and the other guards say it won't help him. But the man seems to have lost his mind from the power. He is ready to fight the whole crowd. The prisoners break the glass, and the guards try to escape. They start a furious chase. However, they're all locked in here. The guards lounge at the iron door, hoping it would break down. As they do so, the angry prisoners attack them. They use their feet and fists. Travis lounges at Barris, for he thinks he is to blame. Suddenly, a red light comes on. The experiment is over. But Travis keeps swinging his fists. The iron door opens up. Finally, they are all free. The men go outside and look around confused. They sit down on the grass and try not to make eye contact with each other. They see a bus on the road. The participants are taken back into the city. Each of them receive an envelope. In the envelope, they find $14,000. Barris and Travis look at each other sadly. Soon the news report that the man behind the experiment will be tried. After all, it's actually him who is to blame for what happened in the walls of the prison. All the victims are ready to testify. Travis flies to India. He observes the locals and smiles sadly. He meets Bay on the dock. She gently hugs her friend. We see his broken arms. At least he is no longer a wimp. Would you be willing to participate in such an experiment? This was Movie Cat, and we still believe in humans in spite of everything.